hello to you. I've been looking so forward to doing on new videos like this. Yeah, you're right. We are going to do another gaming ASMR video because the last gaming video was so fun to do. So it's going to be a lot of talking today and it's going to be like a super nerdy ramble. So if you don't enjoy super nerdy rambles, don't watch. But if you enjoy just me talking about games, well, I love and like, then you're welcome. By the way, how are you, my friend? Hope you're doing great, truly. Well, regardless, I hope at least you can enjoy today's video and I can help you just unwind, relax, and feel good, my friend. Yeah, and what it will help make your day so much better. So let's just get to it. I have 3 games today, and one of them is the game I played last, before the gameplay now. The other one is the game I currently play, and then it is the game I'm planning to play next. I thought I'd just talk about those 3 games. I'm going to show them to you. Yeah. So, let's just put them in order here. The game I played before the game I play now was Hogwarts Legacy. The game I'm currently playing is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then I'm going to play as Mass Effect 3. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about all of these games in order, beginning with Hogwarts Legacy, then Assassin's Creed Valhalla, then Mass Effect 3. I have already played Mass Effect 1 and 2, or rather replayed them from before, so that's why I'm moving on to Mass Effect 3 next. I have just taken a short break from Mass Effect, but I'm going to move back into it after I'm done with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or at least that's the plan. But let's just begin. Hogwarts Legacy. So for those of you who don't know, this is a game set to the Harry Potter universe. It is a very fun action RPG type of game, and it's very fun. It's set 100 years before the story of Harry Potter. It's set in the 1890s, so we get those late 19th century aesthetics in the game, which is kind of cool. But it's set to Hogwarts and the regions surrounding Hogwarts. And you play as a 50-year student. Hogwarts Legacy is a surprisingly enjoyable game, and I actually didn't expect much from it. I was a little skeptic going in. I thought maybe this was one of those overrated games. Turns out it wasn't. It was fun, you know. It had some very, very compelling companions and characters, and a really fun story and great exploration, so it was surprisingly fun. However, it starts very slowly, you know. It starts very slow. It takes a little time before the game picks up pace. That's at least how I felt. The beginning is enjoyable in its own right, but it's not really in the beginning you get the gist of the game. The game starts just with you and a teacher on sort of this cliffside sea type of area, and then after you've done that first quest, you get to finally explore Hogwarts, and you can go around the castle if you wish and explore. And then after a while you will get to Hogsmeade, the wizarding village, and exploring that is actually quite enjoyable. And once Hogsmeade is done, that's when the game truly opens up, because that's when you have done the whole prologue intro part, and that's when you get access to all the regions surrounding Hogwarts, the forests, the villages, the plains, fields, the entire world, you know. So it's enjoyable to explore inside Hogwarts too, of course, but it's after Hogsmeade the game truly opens up and you can explore the entire world. And well, you will probably visit most of the various settlements and villages during the various quests anyway, because there are the main quest campaign, and then there are quest campaigns related to your companion characters, and then there's also a quest chain related to magical creatures. So there is lots to do in Hogwarts Legacy, and in addition to that you can explore the castle, collect lore entries, and just explore the world around. There is lots to do. It's a fun and enjoyable game, and you know, it's surprising how fun and enjoyable it actually is. And definitely play the Sebastian Salv arc, because Sebastian is probably one of the best characters introduced like ever in the Harry Potter universe. He's a student and he's a complicated character. But you also get to choose your house in Hogwarts Legacy. I chose Hufflepuff, and there actually is a unique house quest within the main quest for each house. So I have just played a Hufflepuff one. Anyway, enough about that, let's move on to the next game. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And this is the 12th main game in the Assassin's Creed series, and it's part of that ancient. It's part of the Ancient Saga, or the RPG trilogy as it's often called, and it's called that because Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla are RPG games, unlike former Assassin's Creed games. So I'm going to talk about that, and it's also a Viking game. It's set to the Viking Age. So, Assassin's Creed is set to various historical areas of history. The first 4 games were really Assassin's Creed games. They were mostly set to city settings. They had some exploration outside the cities, but not much. Most of them were set within various cities of various historical eras. And they followed Altair and Ezio. And they were very focused games. They kind of formed the first saga of games. Then you have the American saga, the Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag and Rogue, in addition to the side game Liberation. This was a saga which focused more on the open world aspect and exploring the nature exploration. And this also introduced naval or sea exploration in Black Flag. Then you have Unity and Syndicate, set to Paris and London, the first in the French Revolution, the second during the Industrial Revolution, the second during the Victorian era, apologies. They were full-fledged city games. They were set within major cities. That's probably some of the most major city games that has been in the Assassin's Creed series. They are often considered the games with the best parkour, and they were kind of more focused on the traditional Assassin's Creed stuff. But then we have this new trilogy, the RPG trilogy, with one of the entries which I'm currently playing, and this is Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla, apologies. Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla. And this is set to ancient historical eras. Origins was set to ancient Egypt, Odyssey was set to ancient Greece, and Valhalla is set to medieval England and Norway during the Age of the Vikings in the 870s. And I can say I'm truly enjoying this game so far. Very much enjoying the game. But I have to be honest, as much as I'm starting to really love the game and I've started to play it, I just completed the Grant Bridge arc, which was a really enjoyable arc and an enjoyable region to explore. So I'm nearer the beginning of the game, to be honest, but a really enjoyable game. But I have to be honest, this is probably much more of a Viking game than an Assassin's Creed game. I have played all the previous Assassin's Creed entries from before Valhalla. I have not yet played Mirage, but I'm going to probably do that later on too, possibly. But right now I'm focusing on Valhalla. And it's quite an enjoyable game, and I play a lot of RPGs, so I recognize the RPG elements a lot within Valhalla. And it's definitely the Assassin's Creed game so far with the most RPG elements in terms of gameplay. I'd say that in terms of dialogue and stuff like that, Odyssey was the most RPG, but in terms of gameplay mechanics and how you explore the world and stuff, Valhalla is definitely the most RPG Assassin's Creed has ever been. I could see it because it was a quest where you had to sort of find out who was a traitor within a specific story arc, and to find out that you had to sort of investigate clues and stuff like that, and you know that there were some really clear RPG aspects in it, role-playing aspects essentially. Of course, all of this contributes to me loving the game, but for people who prefer the more classic, more focused, stealth-based Assassin's Creed, I can fully understand why they would be put a little off Valhalla, because Valhalla is a Viking RPG. It's a great Viking game, but it's not really a true Assassin's Creed game. But don't misunderstand me, it's a great RPG Viking game. I'm really starting to fall in love with it. So, it's probably the least Assassin's Creed I feel the series has ever been, and Odyssey was already pushing that. Because it's really not very much stealth-based, it's much more raiding and Viking-based, you know. So, I also recognize, of course, the whole RPG aspect in which the whole you can choose which quest you want to do sort of first and stuff like that, but also that there are some choices, but also in one other sense. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you forge alliances by going to various regions and sort of solving the problems of these various other factions, and then having them sort of join an alliance to strengthen your clan. And it's the whole assemble an army or make alliances concept. It's very RPG, and I know that because I've played BioWare RPGs, and there are at least 2 BioWare RPGs that plays like that. One of them is Dragon Age Origins, which is assemble an army to fight a threat, but the other is Mass Effect 3, which also has a very similar concept about assembling an army to fight a threat. So, yeah, now I talked more than enough about Assassin's Creed. Now I'm going to move on to the one I've been looking most forward to talking about, which is Mass Effect 3. Okay. So this is Mass Effect 3, Take Earth Back, and here it says this is a science fiction shooter action RPG. It's the third in the beloved Mass Effect trilogy, and all the original 3 Mass Effect games are beloved, but there are actually 4 Mass Effect games because there is also Mass Effect Andromeda, but that wasn't as well received as the original trilogy. Here it says Earth is the final frontier in a war to save the galaxy, but it's up to you how the plan of battle is formed. Take Earth back. Yeah. So this is Commander Shepard, the male version anyway of Commander Shepard. So, yeah, so Mass Effect is an action shooter RPG set in the far future. It's set in the 2180s. At that point, humanity has joined the galactic community, and we're part of a big galactic community with many species inhabiting the Milky Way galaxy. And you play as Commander Shepard, who has sort of a space military type of carrier. He or she, because you can play as both male and female, is sort of considered a hero within the military. There are various reasons for that, because there are 3 backgrounds to choose from. And there are actually also 3 career paths in terms of backgrounds to choose from. So 3 origin stories and 3 career paths. So it can vary a little exactly why Commander Shepard is famous. But I'm not going to talk much about the first and second game, and there will be some slight spoilers here, but not much. In the first game, you unravel a mystery, you travel the galaxy to unravel a mystery and to find what an ancient threat called the Reapers is about to return to the galaxy. In the second game, you assemble a gang of companions from various parts, from the more loveless parts of the galaxy, to sort of fight the collectors who are puppets of the Reapers, and you go on a suicide mission and sort of try to get all your companions alive through the mission. It's a very exciting concept, but we're not going to be talking about Mass Effect 1 and 2 today, although they are great games too. We're going to talk about Mass Effect 3, the next game I'm going to play. I have played it before. It's beginning to be quite a few years ago now. So lots of rambling now, as you can hear. Super nerdy, but lovely. Mass Effect 3. So in Mass Effect 3, the Reapers finally arrive and the whole galaxy enters a state of war. In the first and second game, the galaxy wasn't at a state of war, but in the third game it is. So the third game begins with the fall of Earth, the human homeworld in 2186. And the Reapers invade Earth, and you fight your way through Vancouver, when you go to Mars, and when you arrive at the galactic hub, the Citadel, to sort of talk with the Citadel Council, who are some of the most powerful politicians in the galaxy. And when you go to the Turian moon, the Turian is one of the galactic species, by the way, of the moon of Palawan, the Turian homeworld, and fight your way through there. And when once you've done that, the prologue of the game is done, and that's when the game will start to open up a little more. So the mission is to sort of assemble an army to take back Earth from the Reapers. But I'm just going to be honest, it's going to take you quite a long time. If you haven't played Mass Effect 3 before, it's going to take you quite a long time before you can do that, because, well, you have to first assemble the army. So yeah, so it's essentially one of those games where you have to go around the galaxy and fix everyone's problems to assemble an army so you can take Earth back from the Reapers. And it's not just Earth which is attacked by the Reapers, of course, it's many other places in the galaxy too. So when we include the DLCs, which are automatically included in the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, there are 5 major story arcs in Mass Effect 3, which should be completed before you get to the ending. They are the Tuchanka arc, the Rannoch arc, the Omega arc, the Leviathan arc, and the Citadel arc. In addition, there are some side missions, like Eden Prime from the From Ashes DLC, which allows you to recruit the Protean Javik. There is Grissom Academy, which allows you to recruit some biotic students, which is a side quest, by the way. And biotics are essentially, to simplify things, superpowered individuals. You can actually play as a biotic yourself, as Commander Shepard, if you want to. It's one of the classes you can choose. And there are also various other side quests to do through the game. In addition, there are 3 quests which aren't really connected to any story arc in any way, any major one anyway, and that's the Citadel Coup, which will occur after Tuchanka. There is Tessia, the Asari Homeworld quest, and there is of course the quest at Horizon. I'm not going to spoil the details about those, but those are 3 quests that you have to do, but they're not connected to any major story arc within the game. They're connected to the game and the main story, but not to any of the other 5 arcs, really. Anyway. Okay, and there are 2 arcs you have to do, and that's Tuchanka and Rannoch. And then there are 3 arcs which are optional, and that's Omega, Citadel, and Leviathan, but I advise you to do them too. So I'm sure, you know, when you've started the game, you're like, okay, I have to assemble an army, how do I do that? Wouldn't it be nice if you could just like visit the various places, just shake hands, and then people would join you? That's how it works, right? No, you have to literally go around, fly in the galaxy, and fix everyone's problems, every other faction in the galaxy's problems, before they agree to join you. So, apologies sir. Rannoch can only be done after Tuchanka, But Leviathan, Omega and Citadel can be done, I believe, as soon as you have completed Surkesh, which is the opening of the Tuchanka arc. And Surkesh is the Solarian homeworld, by the way. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little about the structure of Mass Effect 3 here. So you can choose a little where you want to go in some places, but Rannoch you can't do before after the Tuchanka arc. It is possible that the Citadel arc can't be done before after the Coup, the Citadel DLC I mean. I'm not sure about that, it's been a long time since I played the game, so... But anyway, well, you have to fix everyone else's problems. So the Tuchanka arc will see you try to recruit either the Solarians or the Krogan. There are some choices involved here. And to do that, you have to solve the entire issue around the Krogans and the Genopage. And the Genopage is sort of a bioweapon which was used by the Solarian Centurions over 1,000 years before Mass Effect, before the story of Mass Effect, to quell the Krogan rebellions, because the Krogan were on a rampage invading the galaxy. So the Turians and Solarians created a bioweapon called the Genopage, which has sort of infected the Krogan since. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but you're going to have to resolve that. The Tuchanka arc is often a natural starting point of the game, and of the 5 story arcs, it's often the one it is considered best to begin with, really. Although you can do Omega, at least Omega and Leviathan can be done before you complete the Tuchanka arc, if you want to, of course. It's really up to you. So to recruit either the Solarians or Krogans, you have to resolve this arc. And that arc will begin with a Surkesh mission, and then there will be various missions on Tuchanka and another planet, I believe, to complete this arc and to recruit one of these species to join a cause. Okay, then you have the Rannoch arc, which will open after the Tuchanka arc. The Rannoch arc will see you try to recruit the Quarians or the Geth. And I won't go into details, but many centuries before the story of Mass Effect, the Quarians were driven into exile by these synthetic beings, robots essentially, they created, called the Geth. The Geth were actually the main villains of the first Mass Effect game, but then in Mass Effect 2 we were introduced to a more complicated side of the Geth. They weren't portrayed as straight-up villains anymore in Mass Effect 2. And then in Mass Effect 3 you have to sort of resolve the conflict between the Quarians and the Geth, because the Quarians decided that now that the galaxy is being invaded by the Reapers, that was the best time to try to retake their homeworld from the Geth. Yup, because it's not like the galaxy didn't have enough problems already. So you have to sort of resolve a conflict and visit various locations in the Rannoch system, and Rannoch is the Quarian homeworld. And then you have to recruit the Quarians or the Geth to join a cause. Okay, these are the ones you have to do. Then there are some optional arcs. If you want to bolster your army, you can also recruit the Omega Station, which is the criminal underworld of the galaxy, in the Terminus systems. And the Terminus systems is the largest part of the galaxy. But if you want to have Omega and the powerful crime lord Arya Talok at your side, well, there are some complications. But as I said, wouldn't it be nice if you could just go to Omega, just meet the various factions, just shake hands, and just have them agree to join a cause? That's how it works. No. I'm afraid you have to, if you want Omega at your side, you have to literally liberate the station from one of the game's secondary villains, known as the human supremacist organization, known as Cerberus, because they have taken over the entire station. So you have to go on a long story arc campaign to liberate the entire station from Cerberus. That's how you get Omega at your side in the war. So this is optional actually, but I'd advise you to still do it. It's a fun arc. However, it should be pointed out that whenever you decide to go to Omega, be aware that as soon as you enter Omega, you will not be able to leave before you've done all the missions. There are 3 or 4 missions, I believe, maybe 4 missions before you can leave Omega, so it will take some time to liberate the station. It's not like you just go in, do 1 mission and then it's done. There are like 3 or 4 missions you have to go through. And while at Omega, you're going to also have access to a base, a temporary base located at Omega Station. This will only be accessible during the Omega story arc, but you can go. This base is sort of a base where you can just relax a little, and you can visit this base between 2 of the missions, I believe, at Omega. But you will only have access to it during the Omega arc. If you feel you want to help the war effort and have another powerful ally, you can try to find the Leviathan. And to find the Leviathan, you have to do the Leviathan story arc. This is also an optional story arc, but it's a fun one. You begin this by visiting a laboratory place at the Citadel, which is only accessible during the Leviathan story arc, and do 3 missions to find the Leviathan, because, yeah, so you have to go through a story arc there too. So as you can see, recruiting all the various factions and power players from across the galaxy can take quite a lot of hours. There is another story arc too, which is one of the best story arcs in the entire Mass Effect trilogy, and that's the Citadel story arc. And this is often best played after Rannoch, because when you have all your squad mates, including Tali, she can't be recruited before Rannoch, so it is best played after Rannoch, but you can play it before too if you wish. In the Citadel arc, you don't really recruit anything. Instead, you're taking a shore leave, you're taking vacation. But the vacation turns out to be a little bit complicated, because you will encounter a faction which I believe is called Cat 6 or something like that. And you will have to go on a few missions in the wards of the Citadel. And the wards of the Citadel is essentially the city, main city, bustling city part of the Citadel, the nightlife Citadel. You see, during the other parts of the game, when you visit the Citadel, you visit the Presidium, which is the elite park area, the beautiful park area of the Citadel. But during the Citadel DLC, you get to go to the wards. There's even a nice casino part here. So, yeah. This is a very enjoyable story arc, and it will pit you against a very unique secondary antagonist or villain within the game. So, yeah. And once you have done that arc, the Citadel arc, you will get access to the Citadel wards. And that will add another hub area for you to explore, and just, another area, another non-combat area, which you can just explore, another city area, to just explore and interact with and do various stuff in. So that's also enjoyable. And of course, after a while, you can, whenever you feel for it, perhaps preferably just before the ending, you can do the Citadel party. The party, which will also come as part of this. Okay, now when you have flied around the galaxy, recruited all the various power players, and maybe also done the Citadel story arc, you should now have synced hours into the game. You should have done all the 5 major story arcs, various side missions, and some of the obligatory missions. Then you should be ready to go to Kronos Station, and then the ending of the game will launch, and it will soon take you to Earth and to London, and you and your army will take the fight to the Reapers, and then you will get back to Earth, and you will fight your way through London and fight the Reapers. So, I think all the various story arcs, the 5 story arcs within Mass Effect 3, is greatly enjoyable. So as you can see, there are 3 of them you don't really have to do, but I'd advise doing them all because it's enjoyable. And the ending, when it comes to the ending, the part in terms of Kronos Station and London is actually quite entertaining and enjoyable. But there is one part of the ending which always has been really controversial with many players. and that's after you're done with the London part and you get to the Citadel and you have the confrontation with one of the game's villains. You will be transported up somewhere, and this part of the ending, I'm not going to spoil it, is very controversial. And the original ending was so controversial that players were in an uproar over it, so BioWare had to make an extended cut. Free downloadable content to make the ending a little better. Not perfect, but a little better. So definitely play it with the extended cut. It's still a controversial ending, and I fully get why it's kind of a weird ending. But yeah. But the part, but up until that point, the ending is actually pretty enjoyable. But it's kind of weird at that point. But with the extended cut, it's at least a little better. And if you want to roleplay a little, you can also do it so that you take the Citadel party after the ending and end sort of the whole trilogy with the Citadel party instead. Yeah, if you want to just be role-play in a special way, that's also a possible way to do it. Anyway, but yeah. Or you can just play the Citadel party right before the ending. It's up to you. And you can go to Omega whenever you feel like it, really, as soon as you get access to it, or later it. And the Leviathan DLC can be done whenever, and the Citadel DLC can also be done whenever, but it is advisable to wait to after Ragnarok at least. It should be said that with the Citadel DLC 2, whenever you begin it, you will also be stuck at the Citadel until the mission, the Citadel story arc, is done. So whenever you enter the Citadel DLC Shore Leave arc, be aware that you will be stuck there until it is done. Same as with Omega. With Tushonka, Ranak and Leviathan, you are not stuck in the arc in the same way. So they you can be a little more versatile with. I hope that was enjoyable, just me talking about Mass Effect 3. I just want to add one thing more about Hogwarts Legacy. In Hogwarts Legacy, you will also after a while get access to the Realm of Requirement at some point in the game, and that will act as a base for you. It's a nice place. Okay, I believe I nerded and rambled more than enough now. I hope you enjoyed me just talking about games I love, and wish you all the best, and thank you for watching and listening. Thank you.